Hello friends, welcome to the channel. If today is your first time visiting us, we want to extend you a very warm welcome. If you have been here before but you have not subscribed, what are you waiting for? Subscribe. If it is your birthday, happy birthday. Today we're going to work on the shop. We've been working on the shop trying to better organize it and improve it, and today we're going to show you an easy and inexpensive way to add storage in your shop that is really customizable to any way you want. So as you might remember, we start our renovation of the shop repurposing this cabinet, and we do have a little bit of space between the cabinet and the wall where two pressure treated lumber is sitting now, and we're going to use that space. But really the only other space we have is right here, just above our trash cans, which we need to empty from stuff. So we're going to build some shelving units above the trash cans. So stick around and see how we're going to do it, and I hope you enjoy this episode. Alright friends, we're starting the construction. We went to the store, and this is an 8x4 piece of plywood, and we're going to use that as our shelving. And what is our width? I forgot. Not half, quarter?
11:30 seconds.
11:30 seconds. But this is plenty based on our constructions. And the first thing we're going to do, we have put here a straight edge, and we have accounted for the difference between the edge of the saw and the blade and our measurement. So I don't know if you can come here and show that. So as you can see, this is our line. We have calculated 6 feet what we need. And as you see, we're exactly on our line. And if you want, can you show that area there and tell them what we're fitting? We have emptied the area. And
it's very dark. Let's see if we can get some light. Okay. So it's essentially from where you see this blue, which is where we have the other shelf, all the way over to the other existing shelf, which is 6 feet.
We have also clamped the piece on our track, and now we feel comfortable enough that it's stable and safe, and we're going to start our cutting by butting the saw to this edge. Sorry.
We're rolling.
So we completed our cut, and we're just cleaning this now. And we have one more cut we have to do in order to cut this in half.
But it needs to be half long ways,
Right.
not crossways again.
Because this is 6 feet, unless we mismeasured it. And
Okay.
right, from that point to this point should be 6 feet, right? Okay.
Yep.
Good. All right, friends, so now we need to do the same thing, but we need to half it on the other direction. And we're using the same process, other than the fact that we put it on the floor, because we could not safely do it on our bed, on the track bed. So we've used 2 pieces of wood to elevate it so our blade will not hit the concrete. And also, we have clamped it so it will not move as we're cutting. So we're going to cut, and we're going to get back with you. Alright friends, we just finished cutting it in half, as you can see. And now we're going to start building the frame. And each shelf this is 2x6, and this is the size of each of our shelves, correct? So that's how big each shelf will be. So you start getting a feeling of how much space we're going to start saving when we're done. So using a circular saw is one of the easiest ways to cut big sheets of wood, because our saw is not large enough to handle this safely. So I think overall the results were good. Yes? Alright folks, because we need to do a lot of repetitive cuts, we attached a stop to our bench, and which is exactly 2 feet from our blade, so we can very dependably now cut 2-foot pieces, and we're going to do that next. So this will be a repetitive process, but you get the idea. We're going to set a piece here, we're going to put it in our stop that we have made sure that it is at 2 feet, and I guess, no, that's the correct.
Yeah.
Let's plug on the back.
So then if...
Okay. You recording?
So that's the cut.
And we're ready for the next one. And we're not going to cut all of them because that's the same process, right? So you're going to see that. Alright friends, so we created our first frame, and we do put a brace on the bottom so the weight of the material will not open these 2 boards. And now we are getting started on our second frame. We have put it on the floor and we're ready to start building it. Alright friends, so we have finished both sides of the carcass and we have put one of the shelves, but we are not done. As you can see, this is a little bow already. We are going to add another member here, another 2x, to allow for structural integrity. But you start getting the idea. We have one shelf here, we're going to have one shelf there, and one shelf on the top that, you know, we might have to notch because of that. Okay? So we're keeping along and we'll let you know how it goes from this point forward. Alright friends, and we've put 2 of the shelves up. Again, we don't have the structural component between the 2 ends, and that will happen next. The reason why I put the boards first, the shelves first, was to make sure that our dimensions were correct, and now we're going to put the support based on those dimensions. So it is the next day. We got tired last night and we didn't finish. We have placed the 2 shelves, but we have not placed the supports. As you see, there is a sag here, but we are level. And now we're going to cut the members that will go from one end to the next and provide the rigidity we need on the shelves. So here we are, we took the correct measurements and we are ready to cut. This is very picky for some reason all the time. Let's see if it fits. That's an important thing, right? Or a little long.
That's okay because we could probably wedge it, right? Or
I
it
don't
would
know
be
about
stronger because it's tight.
Alright friends, we finished the first shelf, and I wanted to show you a trick. By using a clamp here, you can make sure that this is tight without having to hold it, especially if you don't have a lot of people to support it. And you can see inside we use metal brackets because they offer a lot of support and they are frankly the easiest way to do it. Does that make us lazy?
No, it makes us efficient.
Alright, and then another trick I'm going to use, in order for us to put brad nails, I'm measuring the distance between the edge of the board and the 2x, and then we'll go on top, and then we'll know we'll always hit the 2x, right? Okay.
As long
What do you mean outside?
Meaning on the other side of this line.
Well, yeah, it cannot be inside because you will be hitting the... And it's pretty consistent actually. Look at that. We did
Because
well.
we're good.
We
We
did
haven't
well.
secured this end yet, so
No, we're
we
not
have
that
to do
good
that
then.
first.
Okay. So you can see how the clamp trick works. You see there is a gap there. So very slowly and without having to hit anything, you see now it's a perfect fit, right? Okay. Okay. Here. As you can see, our shelf is level, and the reason I point that out is the garage, actually the garage floor is not level, so you need to be very careful if you build that in a garage that you account for the fact that garage doors usually have an incline towards the driveway so water doesn't pull in them. But you can see this is a very nice tight fit, and you can see all the slack, you see compared to this one, all the slack is taken away from the board here, and we are going to build the rest of it in a very similar way, and we're going to show you the final product. Alright friends, and here's how the tip I showed you earlier works. You first find the depth that your material is, and then you bring it on top, and you know that and if you look underneath, it is perfect, and if you go on the other side, it is perfect. So that is a great way, I think, to make sure that your brad nails never miss the mark when you're not on a corner.
So we want some assistance with holding this in the place that we want it to be until we can get the bracket screwed in to support it. So we're using our clamp, and we're essentially connecting it to the structure so that it holds the brace in place. And then we've done the same on the other end so that it holds it ready to be bracketed. It's going to be inside here.
Two brackets there.
Do you want to talk about the one I can see at this moment? Because I'm focusing on the one that's already in place.
All the brackets are exactly the same.
Right.
We use these L brackets that they are kind of thicker, you know, to provide more support.
So this is what the kit looks like. It comes with a set of 2, and these actually look a little bit shorter than the other ones we bought. Not quite the same dimension, but they'll still work. And the idea is to provide support to the corner, and so this one's going to go on the inside corner so it won't be visible from this side.
And the reason we're doing that is because we use 1-by material, so we cannot use tenons. So as you can see, now we have attached everything, and we're going to release the clamp, and everything stays nice and tight. So using the clamps in this situation is a very, very good idea. That's fine.
It's fine for you. You don't have to twist that way.
So we're using the same process for all. We have installed the 2 shelves, as you can see, and now we're installing the last one, which will allow us storage space on top. So the build is coming along. We have a little bit of difficulties because here we have the garage door, but we've taken care to make sure that everything clears the garage door so we can still open and close the garage door. But as you can see, the process is the same for each one of the shelves, and also our trick with the clamps really made our life much easier. Alright friends, we reached the end of our episode, and here is our final product. on the top shelf, we intentionally left an opening of about 2 by 2 so we can store here tall items. And if we decide that that doesn't work for us, we can always close it. So the only difference in the design of that last shelf was that we have another brace at the end of it to create strength and support. Now, when we were looking at the store to buy something like this, the cheapest one we saw was $204, correct? And it was not this size by any means. I mean, this is 6 feet wide, and we have 3 shelves. That's a lot of storing space. And even if we were to buy the one for $204, we will still have to modify it, because remember, our trash cans are going right here, and that's why you don't see anything here. If we find a different place for our trash cans, we can easily add more shelves to this. In any case, I hope you enjoyed this episode. If you did, please smash that like button. If you didn't, the other button works as well. Share, like, subscribe, and comment. Let us know what you want to see in the channel. And a big shout out today to Mrs. Wizard, that she had to do a great amount of work to fit in all kinds of small corners. And in the process of building this, we realized that it would be an easier build if you start from the top and go down. We started from the top, bottom, going up. But in any case, you can do it. If you want something much beefier, I would call that a medium to heavy duty shelf unit. If you wanted something much beefier, I would go with 2x4s, but again, that if you build this using 2x4s, it's almost backbench. I mean, you can put hundreds of pounds of weight on it with no problem. And I think this is plenty strong. I don't think we're going to have any problems with it. But in any case, we learned a lot with this build. We had fun doing it. Both Elpida and Mrs. Wizard were part of this build, and I appreciate Mrs. Wizard's and Elpida's help, who also acted as our gopher when we ran out of material. Right?
Yeah. But that doesn't happen.
No, that never happens to us. If we had run out of material, she would have been the gopher, but we always calculate everything perfectly well. So, from the Garage Wizard, Mrs. Wizard, and Elpida, and the Urban Homesteading channel, I hope you had fun today, and we're going to see you on Wednesday and then next weekend with another project. Have a great week, and farewell.